Hello and welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. Did you like that intro? I thought it was impressive. You know, that camera work was just unbelievable. Almost as good as my paint job, which we'll talk about in a minute. Anyways, so here we are today, and we have the completed Revell. Can I get this in here? There it is. The Revell Apollo 11 Saturn V 50th Anniversary Moon Landing Edition. I want to start by thanking Peter Oxley for allowing me to piggyback this off of his awesome video on the moon shot, as some will call it. The astronauts weren't too crazy about that idea, but anyways. So, thanks, Peter. I appreciate it. And I always appreciate all the support I get from Peter and others like Zinzan Scale Modeling. I would also like to, shameless self-promotion, I started a Substack. I mentioned it before. My handle there is Steve, S-T-E-V-E-K. And I've done 2 posts so far. One as recently as yesterday. So if you're so inclined, having trouble sleeping or whatever the case may be, stop by and have a read. As with my videos, I always welcome comments and appreciate them as long as they're respectful, even though they may be critical. Okay, I'm a big boy. I can take it. All right. So, today's Saturday, 20th of July, 2024. 55 years ago, the 3 Apollo astronauts, after slipping the surly bonds of Earth and dancing in the skies on laughter's silvered wings, the Apollo astronauts, Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, and Commander Neil Armstrong were approaching the moon for the first landing of humans on an extraterrestrial body. It was, for those of most of our viewers who are old enough to remember, it was a seminal moment in human history, and it culminated a decade of both tragedy and excitement, and for a short time, caused almost the entire world to look up in awe of where our big blue marble sits in space. Anyways, so enough of that waxing poetic. Speaking of waxing poetic, that quote was from a poem called High Flight by John Gillespie McGee Jr. And I paraphrased, but basically it starts, "Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the rumbling mirth of sun-split clouds." Kind of cool. Anyways, so so here we are today. As you can see, this is a big model. Okay, here we go. I think the entire thing is it's about 30 inches. Don't ask me what that is in centimeters. I don't know. Anyways, about 75, I think. What does it say here? 77.5. So this was originally a Monogram kit, tooled in 1968. And as far as I can tell, there's been no new tooling on it, which you can kind of see. They're overall, I say it's a good kit. Cost me about $70 off Amazon, of course. And it's a good little kit. It does have its issues and problems, and some of those, but most of the messed up results are mine. Okay, so yeah, we got paint stuff going on here, and for the most part, I did a pretty good job. But where these grooves are, even though I used Tamiya masking tape, it still bled through a little bit. And my attempts to repair spots, like here, if you can see that, weren't very successful. Viewers of the channel will know, and I'm not alone in this, a lot of problems with white paint. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So I think it's going to be a white Sharpie job. Yeah, I tried touching it up, but it's not working. So anyways, so overall, good model, and well worth the $70. So here we've got the command and service module with the crew capsule and the LEM. And oops, I haven't put this engine in yet. I thought Peter's video was going to be tomorrow, so I thought I had all day today to do this. But so I do apologize. But in any case, here it is. And so the capsule detaches from the service module. And the ascent stage of the LEM also comes off. There. And so overall the kit went together pretty well. There were a couple of things that I'll talk about. There we go. Yeah, a couple of things we'll talk about. These are separated. Look at those big, beautiful F1 engines, eh? Look at that. I think I did a pretty good job on them. So there we go. And we've got the base here with our little figures, 1/144 scale little guys. They were interesting to paint. The stand is great, as you see. Get a big fat decal. America's moon rocket, Apollo Saturn. But the thing is, when you put the model on the stand, you can't see these big, beautiful engines. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I'm not crazy about the idea of having it horizontal with the separate stages, although that would certainly mitigate the the seam gaps. In any case, here we go. So two great things about this kit. First of all, it's made in the USA. Well, now, it seems we have, excuse me, some sort of big truck protest going on. And don't know what it's all about. why they're coming down my road. But in any case, yeah, that's what the horn honking is. So I apologize for that. Okay, so yeah, so the first thing is this was made in the USA. Wouldn't it be ironic? It was made somewhere else. And the instructions were printed in Poland. Revell does quite a bit of stuff in Poland, but it was good that they got this. This was originally a Monogram kit, I think I mentioned. And I'll just briefly read. I don't want to take too much time here. On the 16th of July, 1969, at 9:32 a.m., that would have been Central Time, I believe. No, Eastern Time. The most important voyage in human history started. The liftoff of the gigantic Saturn V from Cape Canaveral. The giant Saturn V consisted of 3 main stages. It was 110 meters high and weighed 3,000 tons, which I think is about 60,000 pounds. No, it's way more than that. Anyways, it could carry a payload of 50 tons, and they spelled that metrically, and reach a speed of 11.2 kilometers per second. The nearly 400,000 long voyage to the moon lasted 72 hours. And after reaching a low orbit round the Earth, the top unit with the Apollo capsule received sufficient thrust from the third stage of the launch vehicle to reach the required speed to travel to the moon. And I'm not going to go into any more because Peter's all done that, and for most of us, we know how the story went. So I'm going to make a comment here. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It happened. Okay? I don't want to hear conspiracy theories. It happened. We did it. Humanity did it. And we're still benefiting from technologies developed for that program. So, not going to argue about it. Simple. It happened. So, there you go. Now, the instructions. The Revell instructions are the new format. They're good. I've pretty much torn this apart. 2 little things about the instructions, though. It's a bit of a pain. They put all the paints here, and in the instructions, they're labeled A, B, C, whatever. Here we go, I, K. So you have to pretty much tear out this page or copy it to avoid flipping back and forth. A minor thing, but you know, these irritations add up sometimes. Okay, so the kit went together fairly well. 55-year-old tooling, 56. It does have a few issues, as we've seen, seam issues and fit issues. Most of them I was able to solve. The other weird thing here is right here in step 5, they have you putting the figures on the stand. Yeah, we all know what happens when you do that first, right? You knock over the figures and break them, right? Yeah, just like Pitos on the aircraft. So I did that last, and also because I used the stand to do work on the completed model. So everything goes through, and it's pretty straightforward. This was weird. I don't know if you can see this. There's these little things here, and they show on the diagram. There's a space to put them. There isn't a flat space on the model, so you kind of have to figure it out. Not a big deal, but there it is. Okay, and so yeah, so then we get the first stage assembly, second stage assembly. And then we get into the third stage assembly. At the top here, if I show you this. Okay, so we've got the this is the third stage, and in here these butterfly out so that the command and service module could be jettisoned, or the third stage could be jettisoned. So there you go. Okay. Sticky today. Okay, so yeah, so here we go. The LEM was actually the most complicated thing. I mean, it wasn't that hard, but it was pretty fiddly getting these legs in and getting them to sit properly without gluing them. But they fold up, and it tucks right in there. So, oh, one other thing, a couple of things about the paint. The paint instructions. They say to paint this cockpit green, but the heat shield was black, so I painted it black. And yeah, I still have to put that in. So, all right. So yeah, I'm trying to keep this to 20 minutes. So here we go. And it shows you how everything gets put together, how the LEM slips in. There's a little rack there. See these pins keep it from falling in. And then we get down to for me, what was a nightmare of painting. I mean, seriously, how complicated can it be? It's black and white. It's mostly white with some black. Well, I'll tell you, I had such a time. But you know, in the end, it got done. Like I said, we're going to need a white Sharpie to do final touch-ups. But otherwise, and also I had a terrible time with this. And one of my cognitive things after the heart attack is I have problems with what they call spatial juxtapositioning. So it's why I can't do jigsaw puzzles anymore. I mean, yeah. So I used to love doing jigsaw puzzles, and after the heart attack, I was talking to the doctor, and I said, you know, it's driving me nuts. I can't do jigsaw puzzles anymore. And he said, oh well, this is why. And I said, oh, okay. And he said, and I said, what do I do? And he said, he looked at me and he said, don't do jigsaw puzzles anymore. Seriously. Just like the old Groucho Marx joke. You know, guy holds up his arm in the air, says to the doctor, my arm hurts when I do this. And the doctor says, well, don't do that. Yeah. So anyways, you know, it was at that point that I decided I was no longer going to let things frustrate me. If I was able to do something, the doctor also told me, you know, most of the cognitive stuff would improve over 2 years, but he also told me that what doesn't come back after 2 years isn't coming back. So that's why, you know, a lot of ums and ahs and things like that. I'll live with it. Hey, beats being flatlined for 12 minutes, I'll tell you. Okay, and so yeah, so we get you know, quite detailed and good, you know, hard to go wrong. So, and then the final here is decaling or decaling or decoing the LEM and the service module and the crew capsule. Okay, so that's it. And as I said, I give this a solid good. And I could say that for all of the Monogram kits that I've built. They can be a little simplistic and not as detailed as one would maybe like, but they go together very nicely, and they build up a good model. Now, here. Viewers may have seen this before. And this is the Monogram, and it is branded Monogram. It's not a what you call it, a Revell Rebox like the Apollo is. But yeah, here's your model, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was pretty simple and straightforward. Went together nicely. Everything fit, and even the figures were pretty good. So very pleased with that. So yeah, I mean, if you're wondering about a Monogram kit, I need to glue that together. If you're thinking about a Monogram kit, check them out, especially if you're a beginner or a novice. Oh, and I'm going to put a link in the description here. Okay, 25 minutes, I promise. I'm going to put a link in the description here. I found this popped up on YouTube just this morning, and it's a fascinating video of how Academy, the new injection molding process that Academy is using. As many of you know, older Academy kits tended to be a little simplistic. Good kits, but a little simplistic. And but over the past few years, they've really upped their game. So I'll put a link to this into the description for that as well. So, all right, so that's it for this video. As I said, overall, good. What more can you say? It was a lot of fun to build, and well worth the $70. Well worth the $70 Canadian that I paid for it. So, and this is the 1/144 scale. The 196 ones, Oxley will tell you all about that. He got one. And for those whose wallets are too heavy, they also have, Revell also does a 148 LEM, Lunar Excursion Module. And also out there, if you want to spend about $250 Canadian, there's a Revell Rebox of a complete diorama that has the two astronauts, the LEM on the moon, and the base. So, you know, if that turns your crank, check it out. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks again to Peter, and thanks again to everybody who watches. I appreciate all my subscribers and the time they spend. And I hope you enjoy what I'm doing here. So thanks again, and we will see you very soon. Bye now.